Peace to the family. Peace to the family. It is me, Brother DSP, your friendly neighborhood media personality, and you're now tapped into another installment of the Blast podcast. Of course, as y'all can see, I had to bring my guy Frank Benz back on. He had just recently dropped an amazing project called Pray About It. We discussed that in detail in this conversation here. Please be sure to follow him on Instagram at Frank Benz TV. And also make sure you follow me at The Sandbox Podcast Network. Again, that's The Sandbox Podcast Network. Hold on, let me get that up there. Make sure y'all do that right now. I just gave y'all a quick moment of silence so y'all can do y'all thing. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, then select all to get every single notification. If you are feeling this interview, please be sure to hit that like button and leave a comment because I always appreciate feedback and I will try my best to respond to the feedback if it's a piece of feedback that I feel need to be responded to. But if not, I'll probably just ignore it. But once again, shout out to Frank Benz, shout out to Poughkeepsie, New York. This guy's super talented. If you didn't check out our first interview, it's also available on this channel. It was available on season 3. That's when he pulled up for the very first time, and I introduced my viewers to Frank Benz. And now I had to bring him back because he dropped an amazing album. So enough of me chitter-chattering. You know what I mean? Let's get into this interview. And like I said before, man, hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, then select all to get every single notification. I'm DSP. Enjoy this interview. What's going on, people? Y'all see I'm here with the one and only Frank Benz in the building. What's going on, bro? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you having me again.
Oh, you already know. I told you last time, like, yo, you pull up, you drop something, I got you, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to ask you, I don't know if I asked you this last time. Do you do any like ghostwriting?
Yeah.
You do, right? Okay. Because I'm like, yo, listening to your style and all that, and I'm like, yo, he could probably give somebody some hits, bro, because the pen is crazy.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that.
You already know. Now, let's go back. I mean, we did talk about the last project last time you came on, Bet on Yourself. One thing I wanted to ask you, when you were creating that project, you knew that you were having a seed on the way, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I noticed after you dropped the project, you went on a hiatus, right?
Yeah. I had a couple things that were supposed to drop during that time because I had stuff lined up a certain way. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm on the V-Day 4 tape with Vado. That was
Yep. I remember you on that. Yep.
Last year. So I was prepping myself for, the 1-2 punch.
Right.
And it didn't happen that way. So
okay.
And then at the time I didn't even know like when it was gonna have a release date. So I said, you know what? Let me go drop my next, installment.
Right.
And then he happened to drop V-Day 4 like a week and a half or 2 weeks after. So it still worked itself out, a project and then the V-Day 4 tape. So
right. Absolutely. I mean, granted, you probably wanted it to go a different way, but it still panned out. You know what I mean?
Everything happens in, time that's supposed to.
Right. That's a fact. When the universe is watching and you put good energy out, it gives it right back. So that's a fact. Then you had the single All We Do with Tito Montana. That was his joint. You was just doing the hook, right?
Yeah, so me and Tito were working on a well, let me tell you a funny story about that record. So
okay, all good. We love stories.
I was writing a record for one of Tito's artists, and Tito heard it and half made the beat, by the way, but me working like constantly, like every day, like we were just pumping out records. And so like I said, you know how I write for people, so it was like the crazy thing was when we wrote that record, it was initially for a female.
Okay.
And then we revamped it, kept the hook, took the verses off, and let
okay.
because the hook was still I want to say unisex. So
yeah,
it doesn't matter if it was a female or male record.
Male, that's right.
Hook still goes because I was gonna sing the hook from a female perspective because I ain't a female.
Right.
So, he ended up hearing the record. He was like, he made the executive play like, nah, this is a record. So then we started working on records.
Okay.
Together, and then we was working on a joint project. And then we was like, you know what? This record's so special. This should be a standalone.
Right. It is a dope record. Yeah.
Out got Tommy.
Yeah. How was the video shoot, bro?
Man, the video shoot was cool, man. Like
that, it looked like a movie when I saw the behind the scenes on all that. I was like, where they got my man at? What's this?
He was in a mansion in LA. He was in the desert.
Yep. Peep like, that. Yep.
It was a cool experience. I mean, I've never been in a desert before.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it was like rattlesnakes out there. What they say, cobras, like
scorpions and all that, right?
And they were like, we think we got most of them, just, if you just see one, just, if it's too close, like, don't move. I'm like, what?
What? That's crazy.
Like, man, that's crazy. Off this, man. This ain't catching me. Like,
that's a fact.
Like, I'm gonna hop over that thing like I hop over a fence.
That's a fact.
So
I'm not used to those type of creatures, man. But no, I mean, it looked amazing. Looked like y'all had fun doing it. You know what I mean? And like I said, the record's fire. The video came out dope. So how was the feedback with that? Matter of fact, how was the feedback with the music and the visual?
Numbers still going up. We over 1 million on YouTube. The single itself on streaming platform is at over 500,000. So
y'all were right about it.
My biggest record to date.
Okay.
Because that record's on its way to hit 1 million streams.
That's what's up, man.
Well, I think it is over 1 million streams. I'm lying because I'm only talking about Spotify.
Spotify, right? I was gonna say you got it on multiple.
Yeah. I can't see the Apple Music stats. Only he will be able to access that.
Right.
You don't have to speak to Spotify because when you feature on a track, you should be able to see that in your own
right
portal.
Yeah, in your own profile, right?
It's page that put out the track and then go find it. How many streams it did.
Right.
If it's a popular song or not. Like that. Like, see, I'm on a Vado tape. I know it's doing numbers. I see everybody sharing it, but I'm not able to see the numbers.
The numbers, right?
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. They should feature something or create something where the feature artist at least can see the numbers for that song, not the entire song, like catalog, but just that joint. Right. Yeah. That's a fact. So before we get into the album, you had dropped a single, Poor Baby. Yeah. One of my songs that I picked out. We spoke about it a little bit before. Mm-hmm. Who produced that joint?
I produced that with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I produced
that. Okay, that's dope. And what's the feedback when you dropped that?
Everybody was going crazy. Everybody was anticipating for the album. Like, that record is doing the best out of the whole album. I mean, obviously, because I released it first, but
right. But it's a good record, bro.
Yeah, it's a great record. Like, people are asking for a visual. That's one.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you. You beat me to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna start giving people visuals right now. I'm kind of working on becoming a one-stop shop. You see, I got my studio behind me.
Yep. That'll be doing it on your own.
Record at the crib. Like,
yep.
I don't need nothing else.
Right.
So I got a camera. So I'm working on getting the camera skills up so that my own stuff.
Yep.
And I don't gotta wait on nobody because
that's a fact.
Nobody and artists, alike that look around, they can see that 9 times out of 10, these videographers, not all, it's a select 1%, but
Right.
a lot of them, either take on more than they could chew, or they just have lazy work ethic. They'll shoot your video, but then you gotta wait like 3 months to get your edit back.
Yo, you're not the first person to tell me that, bro. Yo, there was another artist I had spoken to, and he was like, yo, I had to wait like 2-3 months just for my video. And I'm like, 3 months? I was like, what? That's crazy.
That's why.
Nah, that's dope that you're doing it on your own, my guy. For real. That's the best way to go. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you got to join on there called Uncle Bunky's Pray. So I gotta ask you who is Uncle Bucky? Because, like I said, when I listened to it, it gave me chills listening to it.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, I gotta ask him, who is this dude? Because the song was very, very powerful, bro. So I was like, I gotta ask him who this guy is, bro.
So, Uncle Bunky is my uncle. He passed away during that time of the Bet on Yourself. This was somebody who, had a big impact in my life musically and emotionally and psychologically, because he taught me a lot of things. He was very smart. Like, this dude was like the walking atlas. So he knew everything about everything.
Okay.
But he taught me music from a guitar standpoint, and that translated into the piano for me. He taught me how to play chess. I was playing chess at like, I want to say like 3.5, 4 years old.
Okay.
And that's a game that I'm very good at.
I mean, you started early. You started early, bro. So
like, well, I think I beat him for the first time when I was like 6.
yeah, see, you understood the strategy.
He was like, he was like, oh wow, I can't take it easy on you. And then ever since that, like I always reigned supreme playing him in chess.
Right.
But he started me early, and you could tell a lot by how somebody's mind thinks when they
playing chess.
The type of music they listen to and the type of board games they're into.
Right.
So, like people that are into Monopoly, they're more like better financially.
Right. That's a fact.
People that play chess are more strategizers, and they tend to pick up things quick.
Quick.
The reason why you don't know that it's not that quick is because they're not vocal. Everything that they will say out loud is
internal
in their mind.
Right.
So, when a person thinks and then they actually make a move, you're like, oh, okay. And also it was just a lot of things that, like he wanted to do that he never did because he overthought it and then thought himself out of the equation.
Okay.
So that was something that I know as a person who's a thinker, it's hard to be a doer. So
that's facts.
Most people that do, you find out that they're not that bright. They just take that risk. Now, when you may think yourself out of the risk because you're thinking about all the negative effects of the risk instead of the positive.
Right. That's a fact.
So
that's a fact.
That was something that I just picked up from him and applied it in different aspects of my life.
So he not only was he like just family, he was a mentor as well.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense, man. And let's get into it, man. Pray About It. You dropped it April 28th, 20 songs. How many of the joints you produced? Let's get into that.
So I produced I produced on everything, but I'm the sole producer.
Right.
19 of the records.
Get out of here, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, okay. Now I'm starting to understand why the project sounded like it did. Because this one was, I think I told you before when we linked up, this one felt a lot more spiritual, family-oriented. You know what I mean? So now I know why, because it was you, pretty much. This was like your passion project.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 19 of the 20. That's fire, bro, because I might as well run down the songs. Maybe you'll let me know which ones you produced. Maybe you produced all of them solo. Pray About You, Famous, Tolls, Poor Baby, N2S, Uncle Bunky's Prayer, Kiari Shuffle, and Love Since Birth.
Mm-hmm. So Love Since Birth is produced by Motif alumni.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Motif. Okay.
Grammy, the list goes on.
Yeah.
He's run up the charts.
Word.
We've been locked in forever. We started
okay.
out. I was producing for him because he was a rapper.
Yep.
And then we switched roles.
That's funny. That's funny, bro.
So he soaked a lot of game up from me, and then down the road, once he became a producer, I soaked up a lot of game from him. And that's just somebody, he's always one phone call away. Like, that's my brother.
That's what's up. And so the rest was you?
Yeah. So I started out all the records, and then I called in different people like, hey, yo, I got this on the ad. It's funny as you said that, because a lot of people, when I was calling them to add something, they were like, wow, you want me to add to this? Like this already there. Like, I'm
right.
Like, but I need this. Oh, wow, I didn't hear that. Yeah, I can add that. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how a lot of the conversation was when
the
project was going on, because I got back into the core of what made me an artist, was being a producer.
Right.
Because I started producing just for my love of music.
Okay. And that's what you were doing first? You started producing first?
Yeah, I was producing first.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Everybody wants to be a rapper, and I was like, yo, I want to be the next Ryan Leslie, Timberlake, and Brian Michael Cox. Like, I wanted to be a session, a glorified session player.
Right.
So that was pretty much it when it came to that. And now, looking back at it, I'm like, wow, this is the greatest thing that happened, because a lot of my friends reached out. They wanted to produce on this album, and they weren't able to do it because I couldn't tell them what I was doing, because I didn't know what I was making while I was making it.
Right.
Like, you just have something you have this message that's on your heart, and then when you finally, look back at what you were saying, then you're like, wow, I couldn't have put this in words at the time, because I had to see it out. So
you had the message you wanted to get out. You just didn't know how you wanted to get it out.
Yeah. I wanted to create a project that kind of covered all aspects of life.
Yeah, which you did. Right.
Yeah, things that I still gotta apply to myself, things that I have learned, and things that I'm still learning, because everybody's at different stages in their life,
right?
And you gotta find. Everybody needs a different message, so I wanted to make sure that my message wasn't one-sided.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because everybody could go through this similar situation, but they may need it from a different perspective in order to absorb the message. So that was my biggest thing. Was I was very particular in what I wanted to say, because if you listen to the album from top to bottom, it's a story of life, not a story. Well, I want to say it's not just random songs together.
No. It's a cohesive project. That's a fact.
Yeah. So that was my big thing that I wanted to get across.
Okay, I gotta go back. So, what made you change from producer to songwriter? Like, something must have had clicked in your mind. Was like, yo, I think I could do this pen work too.
So every producer has gone through this. You make a fire beat.
Yeah.
The person that necessarily could afford your beat is not the person that should get your record.
Okay.
So I went through a lot of things where people would buy my beats, and I'd be like, wow, I wasted a beat on that. Like, I could have got a Grammy for this.
Okay.
This, to not sugarcoat it, a lot of these artists are just not talented. financially stable enough to afford their craft.
Yep, I know what you mean. Yep.
And we know in this business, like sometimes the most talented are the people that struggle financially because they're spending all that time not thinking about money, but thinking about perfecting the craft.
Right, that's a fact.
So that's how I started rapping. Like I was just like, yo, I'm tired of wasting my beats on people. Like for all that, I can mess up on my beat myself.
Right.
At least I won't be mad because it's me.
It's you, right? Yeah, and you'll be like, I could just get better at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so
that's crazy. I didn't know that. I mean, it makes sense because I know a few producers myself, and when they hear a beat, sometimes they're like real uptight about it. Like, nah, I'm not letting this one go. I'm gonna have to write something to this myself. You know what I'm saying? So, quick question: out of the last 2 projects you did, out of Bet on Yourself and Pray About It, which one did you enjoy putting together the most?
This project.
Okay.
It challenged me the most. It was a challenge because I'm writing about something that's not particularly popular or cool to talk about because it requires ability, and that's not a subject that people like to stick with.
Right. That's a fact.
These are things that, like, you know, when J. Cole was first dropping and stuff, like people were like, yo, he's boring.
Yep.
He was talking about stuff that was grown up, that required you to be grown up. Like, you know, like I said, I seen this Wayno clip where he was like, yo, when artists are on the cuffs of becoming 30, like there used to be an era where the artist matured, and now there's no maturity in the music.
Right.
So
that's a fact.
When he said that, I was like, he is right.
Facts.
Because you get stuck in trying to be cool instead of being real.
Instead of being yourself, right? Yep.
So I was like, all right. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, people are not one-dimensional people.
Right,
like,
right.
Music like this, and then, you know, make some party stuff because, you know, you may go to a party one time.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
But I felt like it was necessary to do it at this point during my climb. So when I do records like that, later on down the road, it's not like, oh wow, now he want to be, you know, now he want to talk about this because now his career is over.
Right,
like,
right.
And you look at the trail, you're gonna be like, oh nah, he been doing this. Like,
right.
His range is wide. You know, he's not becoming born. Like, I also feel like that about like one of my favorite artists is Drake. Like, I feel like, you know, we're coming at that point where it's like, okay, when are you going to be a grown up?
Yes.
So, like, I've been getting this same you, and
for like 10 years. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you haven't aged in 10 years. Like, I want to hear a mature version of you. You know, it's like, got them different eras of Jay-Z. Like, that's what made him one of the greats, because when he was talking stuff and as he matured, the subject matter changed, and you're not a girl's girl from him. You know, now you get in financial literacy because that's his life. That's what
he's on. Right.
As he's learning new things, he's putting it in music to teach you.
Right.
So when you get to this point in your life, you're gonna appreciate this song because you like, wow, this was a gem there. This all went over my head. But now that I'm locked into this part of my life, this music is special to me.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I wanted. You know, like, some people are probably not gonna enjoy the whole project because they're not grown, or they're not growing.
Right.
When you grow,
that's a good way to say it. They're not growing. Right.
Yeah. When you grow, there's certain things that's gonna hit you a certain different, because now, like, you have the mindset to absorb the information. So that was pretty much my thing. Like, I wanted that project, you know, that timeless thing that can teach people how to be better, to think better, and just set an example, you know, from other people's faults. You know that saying is like, what's the saying? Do what I say, not what I do.
Yes.
So it's that necessary, that necessary thing that, like, when you listen to Tupac, I was actually talking to my friend about this, and I'm like, he was 25 when he died, but the messages that were in his music was
timeless. Yes.
And you can tell a lot by somebody who says they don't really like his music, then you like his music, because he had multi aspects of himself. You got the Hit 'Em Up record, whatever. Then you got the Dear Mamas, whatever.
Right.
Got the Brenda's Got a Baby, or whatever. And you got I Get Around. Like, we're watching him grow up. Yeah, what he did later on down the road, led to his demise.
Right.
At the end of the day, he was still 25.
I was gonna say he was still super young, but
he's gonna make
to see the vulnerability.
Also shows you that, no matter how young you are, like, certain mistakes you cannot overcome.
Facts.
So it's always best to be aware, hey, this one has a result of this. Before I do this, let me think this out through. The Tupac that we were getting during that time was him stepping away from, hey, you know what? People think I'm a pushover because I'm trying to put this mindset. Let me be the tough guy. So let me
be the thug, right? Yep.
He did what necessary the goon would do at that time.
Yep.
The boss.
Then the boss, right.
The boss would have never got his hands dirty.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
And he got taken out like a pawn instead of the king that he was.
Right. Oh, that's a good analogy. I saw that. The chess analogy. I saw that.
That's what I'm saying. So when you got that stuff, you get to thinking, I'm like, all right, cool. So say if this was my last project, what would I want to say to the world?
Is that how you went about this project? Just like that? Oh, okay.
I was like,
okay.
This was my
that makes sense.
Because like I said, when scroll on Instagram, you find a couple people like, some of these artists, you'd be surprised at how mature they are, but the music doesn't reflect it.
Doesn't reflect it, right?
And I was like, I never wanted to be that type of artist that you get my music and then the person that you're listening to it doesn't reflect me intellectually. So I was like, let me put this stuff out here so what a conversation like me is with. Like how we was having a conversation before, and I put out the better yourself.
Yeah.
The better yourself bragging is like, all right, I'm being braggadocious, arrogant.
Right.
And this thing is like, okay, I'm being an adult. So them same records that people liked out of there, they got those feels, but now it's accountability with it.
Right.
Now, this was like that because they were responses. So it was like, oh, this was like that because I did that.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's one thing I noticed in the first half of the album, your growth as an artist. And I'm like, yo, he's very vulnerable now. I mean, is that going to be your thing? Being, that vulnerability, putting it out there? And because to me, that's the cheat code to timeless music, in my opinion. When I know what the artist is thinking or how they think or who they are, I'll be like, yo, this song is never going to die. This is going to be around forever.
So I always kind of did that with my music. Now, I wouldn't say 100% of it is vulnerability. Some of it is like, all right, well, I know I'm doing something wrong, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm not going to let you have one up on me.
Right.
Everybody who knows better always gets to a point in that time. And that's why that music in this project was so essential to me, because I know I'm not the only person that has done things because they know better, but they still decide to do the wrong thing because the pride gets in the way.
The ego, yes, sir.
So I was like, that's what this music is about, is let's grow up together. Like, I want my core fans to grow up with me.
That's what I got from the project.
Grow. we're gonna grow together. So I basically staple like the Bet on Yourself is like a brand new start into the introduction to me.
Okay.
And we're going and we're growing up together. But like I said, we're still gonna have fun. Like I got
Of course.
projects that because I'm gonna be dropping a lot this year.
Okay.
So,
okay. That segues into my next question. What's coming up next for Frank Benz?
So I got an R&B EP that I'm gonna drop. I have a little segue project where it's I haven't decided if I'm gonna do a joint project with somebody, like just have somebody where it's just like me and that person,
Right.
or just have like somebody host it,
okay,
like DJ or whatever.
Right.
I got new bags, me and Burrow Dollar. So we're gonna drop together.
Okay, y'all got good chemistry, so I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, which goes into that record when we spoke about it before, the Torn record and the Love Since Birth.
Yep.
My project that let's start fresh. I love these records. I'm gonna add them to my project because they fit. They segue.
Right.
And I'm like,
yeah.
Went out that set up my project before I even knew that I was setting up my project, because those records I made those records for that project, but I started out those ideas, and then later on I made a whole project about those things that I was talking about.
That you were talking about, right?
Oh, you get what I'm saying? So like I spoke my project into existence.
Right. Like a prophet.
Much like I prophesized my own, my own projects.
Right. That's fire.
I'm like, one thing that this project was missing, even though I had like 2 like barbecue style songs on there, I wouldn't say barbecue style. I got the Kiara Shuffle, which is like the Step in the Name of Love.
Yeah. Step in the Name of Love. Yeah, I love that joint.
Because I was like, like it is with that man Robert. People having a hard time separating the art from the person.
Right.
So somebody has to fill that void that record would have been in. So I was like, let me do it, because I call myself. Some people call me an R&B artist. Other people call me a rapper turned singer. Other people.
Yeah, I wouldn't even just give you, because just to call you a rapper, that's one dimensional. I'm like, nah, you got too many dimensions as an artist. I would just call you an artist. You know what I mean?
So
sings, raps.
I heard of myself.
Right.
Because in all facets, I'm composing music. I'm producing the music. I'm recording music.
Just a true artist. Right.
I'm writing my own stuff. Like so.
Yep.
Yeah, so I got that. And I'm really excited because I'm executive producing Burrow Dollar's album. That's
okay. That's what's up.
If you look at the credits, my boy Danique Bailey goes by Dara. He's featured a lot on a lot of my works, because that's somebody who I pick brains with, and anybody who give me a line, I'm putting you in the credits. Like,
it's only right. It's only right.
Hurt nobody.
Right.
It don't hurt nobody.
That's a fact.
So like, if I'm talking to somebody, whatever, blah blah, and I use your phrase that you said to me, like, you getting that credit, because
that's a fact.
I said it like that if I didn't hear it from you. Right. So even that, if somebody's telling me, hey, you should say this line a different way, like, that's it, you in the credits.
You in the credits, word.
I see it all the time. People get upset that they're not credited for their contributions. I get people to be like, yo, you don't have to contribute me.
Right.
I'm gonna do it anyway, because
it's because that's the type of person you are. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, in the industry, we know it's snakes all over the place. So for you to be like, nah, if you give me something, I'm gonna put it out there. It shows that you're genuine, bro. That's all. Yeah.
So that's what we got with that. So I'm gonna be doing his debut album.
That's what's up. I can't wait to hear that.
We got our first deal together. When we used to be signed to E1.
Yeah.
And it's just been a long trip. And I'm really excited about that.
That's what's up, man. Look, man, you answered all my questions. I truly appreciate you coming on, my guy. Continue with the beautiful music. Continue to put your heart and soul out there through the music, because I'm going to continue to listen. I can't wait till the visuals drops, because I'll be tuned in. I'll be helping with the promo.
I'm piggybacking back and forth. You know, I still owe people from that Bet on Yourself. So
right. You, like I said, you said it yourself. You had some joints on there where, you know, it was up tempo party like. So I'm like, yo, you got some visuals on there as well. So either way, now that you told me that you're going to be doing it yourself, I'm patiently waiting now, because I know it's a process, especially when you're doing everything on your own. So I'll patiently wait for that. But yo, Frank Benz, let the people know how they can find you, and then we out of here, bro.
Hey man, it's your boy Frank Benz. You can find me on Instagram at Frank Benz TV. That's FrankBenz TV. You can find me on Twitter at Frank_Benz. You can find me on Facebook at Frank Benz. Anywhere Frank Benz, you just Google it. You can find any platform. Like I said, I got all my links in my bio. I appreciate you having me.
You already know, man. Thank you for coming on, man. You know, next project, you're more than welcome to come on, my guy. You already know the vibes. You be safe, my G. Peace.